There's a moment, usually late at night, or driving the same road you've driven 1,000 times, when the noise drops away and a question slips in uninvited. Is this it? Not in a dramatic, blow it all up kind of way, just a soft wondering, a sense that the life you're living fits, but maybe not all the way to the edges, that there's something in you that's restless, curious, quietly asking what might happen if you stopped following the map you were handed and trusted the one forming under your feet. Welcome to What Would They Say? Today I am recording from a Awabakal land, and Dan and Elyse are joining us from the traditional lands of the Barngala people.
You don't have to stick to a timeline.
I've always pushed myself to get outside my comfort zone so I can continually grow. You can't storm off, and you can't even verbalise a proper argument while you're in society with Quittin Trippin on the side of the van. And when you step outside your safe zone, it becomes terrifying. They're not going to be here forever, and we wanted to make it special for them, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And slowly started to hate that life. I slowly started to go, money will not buy any more time.
Today I'm joined by Dan and Elyse, the couple behind the YouTube channel Quittin Trippin. If you've ever watched their channel, you'll know it's not just about ticking off campsites or chasing the next great view, although there's plenty of that too. It's about what happens when two people decide to loosen their grip on the life they were supposed to want and see what else might be possible. Daniel and Elyse are a married couple in their 30s who swapped the 9-to-5 for caravan life, travelling Australia full-time with their two dogs, Bundy and Bella. Along the way, they're sharing the real, raw and often funny side of life on the road. The coastlines, the campgrounds, the hidden gems, and those behind-the-scene moments that don't always make it to some of the van life content creators' highlight reels. There's no polished quit your job and everything will be perfect narrative here. This conversation isn't about selling a dream. It's a fun, honest exploration of what it looks like to choose a different rhythm. Back yourselves as a couple and figure things out as you go, with a bit of dust, dog hair and laughter along the way. Welcome, team.
Hello.
Howdy.
The first question I'm going to ask you guys is one that I'm sure that all of our listeners are wondering. Have you ever heard of Trippin' a Van?
Have you heard of Trippin'
No,
a Van?
I
I've
don't
never heard of Trippin' a Van. No, are they new? What do they do? What's their reference? What's their niche?
This is a bit of an in-joke, given the content that Dan and Elyse are making. We have had this joke going for a few days, and I did say that I was going to open the podcast with it. So that was a good response. I was expecting you to come back with, Dan, have you ever heard of Joe Rogan? So that was much more polite.
Have you heard of Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I have. Just for some context for the listeners, Dan and I met a couple of years ago when we were working on a music video together. So we loosely know each other, and now I just spend my evenings watching them on YouTube and wishing I had their life. So that was a big part of the reason that I invited Dan and Elyse to come and have a chat with us today. The other part is what we're doing is actually compiling a set of reasons for Scott to quit his job and for us to go and do the same thing as these guys.
Well, first of all, take all the money you have and throw it away. And then in a month's time, if you're good with that, well, then you're ready to go.
Charlie did use ChatGPT to put together a persuasive argument a couple of months ago for us to buy a property on Cape Barren Island, just off the north of Tassie. He failed at that, so I'm hoping you guys do a better job.
Well, I mean, coming back to your question, and thank you for the background introduction there of how we know each other. Yeah, we have heard of Trip in a Van, although I don't even think we followed them. Do we follow them?
Yeah, we follow.
Oh, okay. Well, that shows you how much I know about our own socials. Elyse handles the socials. I am the editor
Yes, you are.
and the spokesperson most
Yep,
of the time.
most of the time, yes.
Because I'm used to that and I like to talk and hear my own voice. We do know Trip in a Van, and I suppose they were the OG and the original people that went, you know what, stuff it, let's go. Not that many haven't had that thought, but I think they're the first to actually try and monetize it and have made, I don't know if they're making a living. I think they would be by now with the amount of people that they have following them and the way they've set their business up, because I believe it's a business what they've got now.
Sure is.
Rather than just passion. So currently we're a passionate startup, we call it.
You're just here for the ride.
We are. We are.
I'm really excited to see how this goes for you guys. I was so intensely excited when you guys posted on your socials that you were taking off. Maybe just clue our listeners into what life looked like for you guys before you made this choice.
Guess it was just pretty much the same as most people. Get up, go to work, come home, do the same thing again the next day. Like, yeah, it just kind of got a bit monotonous, I guess.
I think the big thing for us is we don't have children. We have 2 dogs, 2 beautiful, lovely dogs. And we are those annoying people that baby them like children, right?
Yes.
So getting up for us a day-to-day would be exactly what Elyse said. Get up, go to work. And it wasn't that we both had unfulfilling jobs.
No, not like, yeah, we weren't unhappy or anything. It was just...
let's doing it again. And I think what started is we had a dream that we wanted to do this for how long?
12 months.
12 months? I think that's when we decided. 12 months was like giving us a deadline, but I think for years that we wanted to just break the monotony and get going.
Yeah.
Once you guys had made that decision and the dust had settled on it, what did everyday life begin to ask of you that you hadn't anticipated in the lead up?
Stress.
Yeah.
So much stress.
We put a lot of stress on ourselves, and there was a lot of arguments, wasn't there?
There was, yes.
I'm not going to lie. There was. It was almost like we were... Okay, so I have ADHD for listeners out there, okay, which I'm unmedicated. I wasn't medicated when I was younger. This is a backstory here. And then I sort of implement things into life on how to deal with stresses and bits and pieces, because medication didn't work for me. Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, all sorts of things. But what that does do is when I decide to do something, instead of holding it inside, what do? I tell everyone.
Yeah.
I tell everyone, this is what we're going to do. And then Elyse is like, why would you tell everyone that? What if we don't do it? So I think maybe that was one of the biggest stresses. I got excited and went, this is what I'm going to achieve. And you're like, why did you do that? So it became a thing. We had to do it, right?
Yeah. Which, I mean, that isn't a bad thing, I guess. I don't know. I guess it's not a bad thing, because then we have to do it, right?
We have to do it.
Yeah.
So it was more of a challenge for ourselves. All right, we fucking said it now. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Here's one for you, is that we were our most happiest when we travelled. The stress wasn't there, and we could just be ourselves and be with each other, and that's when we find it the most magical in a relationship, I think. So
I think a lot of the stress also came from like just everything that we had to do before we left, because we ended up setting ourselves a deadline of the 1st of September, but then that got pushed back to October and then November.
Or at least stopped working. I was still working, so I wasn't there to help out. And then it was like, all right, what have you done today? I've been working. And that was a big argument, wasn't it? And then you're like, oh, you don't see all the things that I do. So there were stresses there which we didn't anticipate.
No, we didn't at all.
What has been the hardest part, practically and emotionally?
I guess learning how to live so close to each other in a little box.
It is, because arguments happen,
Yeah.
right? In any relationship. And when an argument happens, you normally have that separation where, okay, I'm going to go do this at the other opposite side of the house, or going to go outside, or to me, go to the shed, because you need that cool down time and period, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have that living together in a van. There's no other room. There's a bed, there's a lounge, there's a toilet. And look, the dogs take up 2 of those spaces. So then it's like, all right, you can't storm off, and you can't even verbalize a proper argument while you're in society
No.
with Quittin Trippin on the side of the van, because then they're like, oh, look at those dicks. They're not always happy, which we are.
Yeah, we are. It sounds like we have a lot of arguments, but we don't. No, just at the start we did, because I think it was just, we were all still like really stressed out.
We were so stressed when we first started, from all the stuff that we had to do.
Yeah.
We got in the van, we couldn't slow down.
Yeah.
I suppose that's another, like, slowing down was an unexpected thing that we had to get used to.
Yeah, learning like you don't have to stick to a timeline.
You don't have to get everything done before Friday to be able to enjoy the weekend. You just need to take little steps as you go, and little tasks, rather than make small tasks monumental because you're running out of time. All of a sudden you have time to be able to do the things that you need to do over a period, rather than, if I don't get it done today, it's going to put me out 4 weeks, because the next time I have a chance to do it is in 4 weeks.
I want to know how long it took you to settle into that rhythm of life slowing down when you don't have the pressure of, I have to be at work at 8:30, I don't get home till 5, then I've got to feed the dogs and cook the dinner and all of the things. Now that your days look different, how long did it take for that change to occur?
What date was yesterday?
Yesterday. No.
You answered that one.
I think about 2 months before we kind of just started to calm down.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I don't know. For me, it was earlier. For me,
okay.
And once again, I go off on a tangent, but I had a bit of a panic mode where I'm like, I want to go home. I want to go home, and I want to get back into that routine. And it was a little bit of a panic that I was never going to get used to it. So what I said to myself was, if I just pretend I'm on a 3-week holiday, at the end of that holiday, I don't want to go back to work. And everyone's been on a holiday where they're like, I don't want this to end. So my thought was to trick myself into going, okay, after 3 weeks, I've got to go back to work. What if I don't have to? But I think by the second week, I'm going, oh, this is great. I fell into it. I think I got comfortable.
Yeah, well, I think it was about 2 months for me.
Yeah.
To learn how to just calm down, relax.
Yeah.
I think it's a personal thing. Scott and I often talk about, we have a very different idea of what holidays looks like. Like if we go to a spot, he wants to see all of the things. He wants to check out all of the shops. He wants to see all of the tourist destinations. And so when we travel, we're going at 100 miles an hour all the time. And we often joke that we need a holiday after the holiday because there was no relaxation during the holiday. We see incredibly beautiful things, but the thing that draws us to this lifestyle is that ability to be able to just rest in a space and say, this place is great and I want to stay here for a few days longer. I was watching you guys in Mount Gambier last night, and I got to Mount Gambier, and I don't know if it was just like maybe a bad mental health day. I really didn't give Mount Gambier a chance on the first day. We had 3 days there. And by the third day, I did not want to leave. We had hiked the volcano that you guys couldn't go up because it was too windy and horrible.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a hard job, but I was very glad that I did it. And we swam in one of the sinkholes. It was freezing. It was winter, but we didn't care. Like, cold water never, ever frightens me. And we headed down to the coast and those beautiful limestone cliffs and stuff, like, but by the time I got to the point where I was really enjoying this space and these little things that weren't necessarily the on the tourist map that I'd started to find them, it was time to move on to the next spot. So I think that idea of being able to just say, I want to stay here for 3 more days or, you know, a week. I think that's what draws me to it, and the fact that we would be able to just rest in a spot rather than seeing all of the things. So,
Shannon, you it really defined us to a T. Maybe that's just how relationships work, where one person wants to do all the stuff, one person wants to do nothing. Because that was pretty much when we went on holidays. I just want to rest in bed and not communicate with the outside world. And Elyse would sit at the end of the bed and go, I'm bored as shit, right?
Yeah, and we're like, let's do stuff. Let's go and see. We're here. We're going to do it.
So that sort of turned me into, well, this is not a holiday. And Elyse is like, this is not a holiday if we sit here and rot in bed and do nothing. So maybe that's where our timeline varied from 2 weeks of me getting so well adjusted going, this is great, to you 2 months. I think I think the way that you just explained that with your relationship with Scott, I think that really reflected in me when I was thinking about that.
I just want to get lost up trails. Like every trail we drive past that goes off a road, I want to know where it goes. And I just want to watch birds. And he just wants to see all the tourist stuff. And I think that's where we differ. But how has it changed your perception of time?
For me, I have one timeline, and that's when is Saturday, because that's when we've decided to let our videos drop. So my timeline is, what day is it? Is it Saturday? Or is it Wednesday? And then I know I've got a couple of days to finalise this episode. That's sort of where we're at. I mean, what did we do today?
Went to the beach. We just got up, did some washing. You did the start of the video.
Yeah.
Went to the beach.
And the beach was, how long did we have that planned for?
10 minutes before we left.
So the only thing we had going on was this podcast today. So it was like, okay, I think every day we wake up, it's undetermined. So therefore time slows down. I feel it slowed down.
Yeah. We always know when it's 5 o'clock though, because Bundy has to get a tablet at 5 o'clock and he will let us know if we are late. So that's the only time of day that we generally know.
That must mean that he actually enjoys having his tablet.
Oh, he loves it. He just eats it. He's like, oh my God, it's a little treat.
We are so thankful for that. He takes Cardishaw for a heart murmur. And without him enjoying that, it would be so painful because it's every day, twice a day.
Yeah.
Just going back to the time thing, saying that it all slows down, we have no time limit. So people, when they stop us and they ask us, they go, okay, how far are you going to travel? They don't ask how long we're going to travel for, because we really don't want to say 12 months. We don't want it to end, do we? So we want to be able to do this journey as many times as we can within the parameters we've got, but we don't want to miss anything and we don't want to make it too fast either. So we travel an hour and a half a day between places.
Yeah.
Maybe 2. Yeah. The longest we've done is 3 hours, I think. And we might stay at a place 2 to 3 days. It's undetermined. Time is just a concept at the moment.
But I think it's good not having a timeline as well, because we're at Coffin Bay at the moment and we originally only wanted to stay 3 nights, but we've extended it another 3 nights because we're just enjoying it. We wanted to extend it longer, but we couldn't, unfortunately, just because there was no space in the park. But
if we had a timeline on that, I don't think it works. I think everything would seem rushed. I don't think we'd be happy.
No, it'd be a bit stressful.
So we had to give away that whole wake up and eat at this time, have lunch at this time, get back by the car, get in the car at this time. You need to make sure that you shot this by this time. It's the idea of our videos is, hey, this is just us and this is what we're doing when we've done it. That's why we don't want to be a big production and all the rest of it, because that would just be hell.
How much of your days are taken up with making content for the channel?
Not really, not that much.
Okay.
What you see is our day.
Yeah.
It's not like we've got to, it's scripted or storyboarded, or we even really discuss it beforehand, do we?
No.
We just go, like, for instance, today we went to the beach and we went, wow, those rocks look cool. This is good. Grab the GoPro, grab the drone. We're just, you're discovering exactly what we discover at the same time. And that's why none of it's scripted. That's why we're honestly talking to the camera and stumble words and all the rest of it.
Yeah. And really, it's just, yeah, it's a quick, like, we'll get the camera out and just film something and then we'll just kind of go on with our day. We don't have it like, we don't have certain things set up that we want to do generally. I mean, sometimes we do, but yeah.
So, as in, if you break the question down into, I mean, how much of it is work, content related, and how much is pleasure, or what's a better word than pleasure? Uh, yeah, holiday, whatever. I suppose it's 10% content making.
Yeah.
You know, it's really just grab a camera with you, get comfortable with showing people an insight to what you do, and just run with it.
I think that comes across in your episodes, and we watch a lot of your genre. I made the joke about Trip in a Van, and we have followed them from very close to their beginning.
Can you send me a link to those when we're finished here so I can look them up?
We've watched all of these other people sort of come into this space, and there's nothing that brings us more joy and helps us relax, and it's such a great research tool for when we're thinking about going to places, when we can look up guys like you and say, oh yeah, these guys have gone to Mount Gambier. You find things that you would never find in the Tourist Information Centre by watching YouTubers who travel to those places. But it's also exceptionally relaxing when you're going to work every day and you're getting home and you have your dinner, and then we kind of sit down, and one night it might be you guys, and then a different night, I think last night we watched Molly Dixon as well. She's in Tasmania at the moment. And we just love it. We love it so much. But I think there is always that, oh, maybe one day, maybe one day we might be able to do it in the same capacity. So we won't let Scott listen to this next question that I'm going to ask, but what are the things that are the hardest?
How to think about that one?
Yeah, well, I'm still thinking. I don't know.
I love that there's not an immediate answer. Maybe Scott can listen to it.
No, maybe, yeah. I feel like there's nothing hard at the moment. The first couple of months, it was hard. Just changing routine, like lifestyle. I said, just being stuck in a box. And
I think you get trapped in that whole monotony of working back and forth, that it becomes, here you go, a safety net. I think you become safe and you feel safe within your life. Okay, I've got my bills paid from this week. I've got a roof over my head. I know what I'm going to be doing when I wake up. I know what I'm going to be doing when I go to sleep. I think that's a safe thing, and when you step outside your safe zone, it becomes terrifying. And I suppose, I mean, that's something to concentrate on as well, because it does. I had a very safe job for a long time, and I've always pushed myself to get outside my comfort zone so I can continually grow. And the biggest thing was leaving a job where I made very good money for people without children. It's like, this is great. And then it's go, okay, well, we're not going to bank money stepping forward. So I'm going to say finance is probably the biggest thing that is when we trip, because everything's dearer now, including travel, fuel. I find financial stuff is where it's at, but then that comes offset to lifestyle, right?
Yeah, it does, for sure.
So, we have just started monetizing the videos with YouTube, but as we said to you before, we started that we've made like $26 and been monetized for 3 weeks. So that's not gonna generate a whole lot of fuel money.
No, it might cover your fish and chips.
Oh, maybe not even that.
Well,
$18.50 the other day for some fish and chips, and it was like, oh, everything's crazy where we go. So yeah, I think money, and there is an uncertainty when it comes to that. Things like when Bella, we almost lost her. That episode's coming out this week. But that was such a big financial commitment out of our comfort zone that was allocated for this trip. So eventually we're going to have to try and make that up somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything costs money.
It does, yes, you're right. Yeah, I definitely agree with the financials. It's probably the hardest, I guess.
Is Bella doing okay now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, she's doing really well.
she is. We've got a different dog, I think.
Yeah. So we're 6 weeks now today from surgery. Today, tomorrow. Anyway, whatever day it is, yeah.
What's life like on the road with your puppers in tow?
The greatest thing in the whole entire world.
I think one of the biggest things why we decided to do this and that made us stick to our guns was the fact we said to each other that, I mean, we've got a dog that's 12 and a dog that's 14. They're not going to be here forever, and we wanted to make it special for them, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, their last couple of years, and want to make them the best.
Come on, you can say more than that. You
Well-
literally come home every day going, oh, they just spend their lives at home all day waiting for us to come home.
I know, and that's the thing. Yeah, they do. They just like sit there by themselves, and then we come home, and then we're just tired, and we can get them out to the beach all the time. It's their favorite thing to do. So, yeah, it's making their lives good, making them happy.
Do you find that they encourage you to get out and do maybe see places that you wouldn't see otherwise?
They encourage us to get out hell out of bed, don't they? Because it does get very relaxing in bed in the morning.
It does, yes.
Bundy needs his tablet. They need to go to the toilet. We can't just open a door and say, out you go to the toilet, come back in when you're ready.
Yeah, we actually have to physically get up and put the leads on and take them out.
There's an aspect of a couple of things. So I suppose the nitty gritty of travelling with dogs. National parks, do you want to cover that one?
Yeah, well, we just can't go there. Simple as that. So, yeah, there's a lot of beautiful places in national parks that we are missing out on, but, you know, we signed up for that and we knew that was going to happen before we started.
Yeah. There's a lot of dangers out there too when we walk dogs. You know, we've got wildlife. We've got 1080 baits in certain places that we've been or about to go as well. And Bundy is just like, oh, what's that? I'll eat anything. So it is a scary thing. And then we've got, like, when Bella comes so close to passing away, if we weren't close to a vet, that wouldn't have happened. She would have died in our arms on the way to a vet, as bad as that sounds.
Well, if we weren't traveling, we would have come home to her. Yeah.
There's your silver lining. You know, that's the other thing. We're with them all the time.
Yeah.
You know, that is the thing. And there's so much upside to it as well. Apart from that, I mean, we get to go and check out all the cool dog parks. People want to see the dogs do things as well. We want to see the dogs do things. They see different beach every week.
Yeah.
Oh, unless you're in
South Australia.
Yeah.
Well, from
east of Coffin Bay
Yeah.
because of the algae bloom. But we get a lot of people that stop, and the kids love to see the dogs, and it just brings joy to my heart.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's probably the biggest barrier with us because I do love national parks so much. And we have Marla, the little reptile destroyer. So she will stay with Mum sometimes when we're travelling. When we did the Great Ocean Road, I really wanted to do the Otway National Park and those places. But it is certainly a different style of travelling when she comes with us. And I do really love it. And I get so much joy from watching her have a really lovely time. And she really loves it. If I get her crate out, she knows she's going in the car. I just put it on the ground and she jumps straight in it because she knows there's an adventure awaiting. So I love that you guys are showcasing how you can do this with your furry friends. It kind of makes me think maybe there's some ways around it where, you know, we might be able to. And we do certainly take her to a lot of places. We do a lot of hip camps and stuff where you're allowed to take dogs. But yeah, when we do those big travelling ones, I would find it really difficult to just drive past a national park. But and I think because we also have a child, he wants to be able to go to the pool and all of those places, and then we have to, either one of us misses out on going to that thing with him, or we have to leave her tied up at the gate, which we did a lot when we went to Lightning Ridge. Like, we'd go to the hot springs and stuff at Lightning Ridge and out at, what's that place? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But outside of Lightning Ridge.
The Hilton, Glengarry Hilton.
Gadooga. So we went to
Ouagadougou, yeah.
all of those places, and we took her on that trip. She had a great time. We stayed on a station out at Corinna, and she had a fabulous time. And when we went to the hot springs and stuff, we just tied her up at the gate, and she was really happy just sitting and watching us. And so I think it depends on where we're traveling as to whether we take her. But watching you guys and seeing the puppas there and, you know, running along the beach, they're some of my most joyous holiday memories. I mean, the human babies too. I do like them as well.
To give you an example of, you know, some of the things. Yesterday, there's a national park. We're in Coffin Bay, so there's a national park that goes all the way to Sir Isaac Point. And I did not know this until I went on a trek by myself, but Elise stayed with the dogs and looked after them here. And then I went by myself and went for a day of filming. That I didn't have breakfast, and I'm like, oh, I'll be back. And then that took all day. So that was an 8-hour day, four-wheel driving by myself to this tip, fishing, come back, no food, nothing. And but it was good because with two people, it's really good. At least can look after the puppies. I can go do those things and show you some content that we normally couldn't. And then there's things like, I'll give you an example. There's a gentleman named Andy who's walking Australia with his dog Scrubby. Okay, he's got a little cart. He's got the dog Scrubby. He sits at the front, and he's walking against basically for gambling. But we're in a caravan park. He was by himself. He's got this tiny little dog. Can't go into the showers with the dog. Can't go into the laundry or anything like that. So it makes it hard. You don't want to leave your dog in a tent, or, you know, he got in trouble for having the dog out on a lead or in his arms. So that would be frustrating if it was just one person with one dog. It would make it hard, very difficult in certain circumstances and certain places. So we're lucky that we have each other.
Yes, we are. And that the dogs are just happy.
Yeah.
Like if we go to a museum or something that's 5 minutes down the road, like the dogs are happy to sleep in the van. We have the camera set up. You know, we're checking on them every couple of minutes. But yeah, we never leave them for too long, or if we're too far away.
Explain that setup so people, because that's one thing that people ask us, and I mean, it's taboo. Oh, you're going to leave your dogs in the caravan, but explain how we've set it up and what we do and how far away we are from them.
Yeah, so we just have the Starlink set up. We're at the caravan all the time, and we have 3 Ring cams. So we had Ring cameras at home that we just pretty much just brought with us to travel. So we have one set up at one end of the caravan, one set up at the other, one at the front door, covers all bases. And yeah, it's just an app on your phone that you can just have a look at. We get notified if there's any motion in the van, and yeah, they pretty much just sleep the whole time. But we only ever go 10 minutes away max, you know, so in case something does happen, we can quickly rush back.
We have aircon. We'd never do it at a free camp. Aircon's running, and we also have a thermometer that sits in front of one of those cameras, so we know what the temperature is in the van at all times. And we also have carbon monoxide monitors and, you know, fire alarms and all that stuff. We turn gas off when we're away, and we do all these things to ensure that they're going to be safe.
Yeah.
And
Max.
like I go to work every day, and my dog stays at home by herself. She's got a dog door. She can go in and out as she pleases, and we've got security cameras so I can see when she goes outside. But no one ever questions me about that. You know, like it's the caravan is their home now, and sometimes dogs just want to stay at home and have a nap.
They have the best sleep, don't they?
They do.
We look back and they've normally we'll take them to the toilet and everything before we go, and I'll walk, but it's normally after the beach or a big day, and they're just passed out having a great time, just sleeping. Rest from us, really.
Yeah, they're like, oh, thank God they're gone. Can relax.
How has this change in your lifestyle shifted the view of what you think a good life actually looks like? You know, we're sold the...
Oh, that's a great question, isn't it?
Get a partner, buy a house, you know, all of that stuff. What do you think a good life is after you've had your foot in both camps?
want to feel this? You want me to go for it?
Yeah, you
Okay.
go.
Well, okay. So I was raised. My father wasn't there, so my father figure was my pop, who was a banker. Now I'm talking banker from like 1937 banker, like he's been a full-time life banker. And back in the day, the bank was they'll look after you if you look after them. That was always the role of the employee and the employer. So basically, Pop was like, get a good job, you look after that company will look after you, and that's all you need to worry about. Buy a house, get married, all the steps. And we're only saying about how much we achieved very young. I wanted to make as much money as I could. I thought that was what it was all about. And I got a couple of life lessons early that I didn't necessarily want. And I went, wow, this isn't what it's all about. And slowly started to hate that life. I slowly started to go, well, you know what? Bosses are full of shit. You're there to be used and made money out of. The government sees you as they just want your tax from working. You're just a worker ant, is the way I see it now. And it's like, well, we're only here to feed a system that's made around you going to work, making the money, giving that money, or 50% of that money, or working for free, really. If you look at it, you've got to work for free for half of it.
Yep.
And just do it again and keep doing it until we say you can have some money that you've saved up and enjoy your life. That seems a bit political, though, doesn't it?
I wouldn't disagree, Dan.
From going, oh, how good's it? It's gone from how good's having the money because we don't have kids. That's the other thing. I mean, we're not tied into let's do that traditional lifestyle, have kids, get married, have kids and whatnot. So to me, it's gone from money to, I would say, making memories, because at the end of the day, you know, if I was poor, I wouldn't have money, but at least I'd have those memories. And I think you're only poor if you live with outside your means.
Yep. Mm-hmm. My daughter lost her best friend at 15 to cancer. It is the lesson that she has left me with. Those things that she talked about as she got to the end of her life, they were things like the time she came camping. Her family aren't campers, but she came camping with us and lived like a homeless person is what she called it. And how much she loved that. Making s'mores by the fire, swimming with the turtles. All of these things that she listed to me were the most special parts of her life. They moved the school.
Was that
moved
Hannah?
Yeah, that's Hannah. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I was in the ride for Hannah. That was such a beautiful day. I'm sorry to interrupt you there.
were
I
you?
thought that's got to be Hannah. Yeah. I wore a suit on a motorbike, and my next door neighbour's daughter, I took her with me as well, and yeah, it was a special day. Sorry to interject there. I apologise. I'm like, I think I know who you're talking about here.
Yeah, you do know who I'm talking about. And she was an extraordinary girl. There is a reason why that many people turned out. That was amazing, Dan, that ride.
I know, it's tearing me up, actually. It's just...
And yeah, so that's the thing that I think she left me with, was that at the end of my life, I'm not going to care what my house looks like or, you know, how many trinkets I've got sitting around. I'm not going to care that I don't have a dishwasher. I do care about it some weeknights. I do really care about not having a dishwasher.
Look, you don't miss the dishwasher. We thought the dishwasher was going to be, oh my God, right?
Oh no, I miss the dishwasher.
I don't mind. I think at the end, when you think about it, is that what I think about is money will not buy any more time.
Nope.
We've got so many summers, so many winters, so many hugs and kisses, and at the end of it, the money is not a thing. It's easy to say, you know, when you're comfortable living. Okay, there's people out there that are doing it really, really tough, and I'm not trying to take away from any of that at all. But I think that also goes back into the living within your means. But Hannah is completely on point, and it's the best thing to take away from her life is exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
We've come up with a saying with things like Bundy's bad breath. He'll lick me, and he'll lick my side of my head and the back of my head when we've got hair gel, and it stinks. And then we go, I'll miss it when it's gone.
Puts it in perspective.
Good thing to look at any perspective, anything that shits you off, that, you know, if you can't do it anymore, you're going to miss it.
Do you guys feel closer to yourselves now? Like you were saying before about, having a job and all of the things. And I think that makes up a big part of our identity, like who we are in the outside world. But I'm really interested to know when you strip all of those labels back and you're just Elise's husband and Elise, you're Dan's wife, and you're Bundy and Bella's parents. Does it make you feel closer to who you are as people when all of that's stripped off?
I think so.
100%.
Yeah.
For a long time when I was younger, I thought status was everything. You had to have that car. And I was like, oh, I'm a car salesman. Look at me. I do this. I drive new cars and that. And it's all just bullshit. All of it. You take that same person, say, I don't know, what's the most elitist job? Unfortunately, I'll say Prime Minister. Take the Prime Minister, take all his clothes off, and then take someone that's digging ditches, take their clothes off, sit them side by side, they're stripped of everything. Well, you just got two naked people standing there.
Yeah.
Simple as that. We're all the same. We're all the same. Just, I think the value is how you treat others. And I think I'm closer than you now that we spend every day together.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like we're more content with ourselves as well, like not just with each other. We're just, I don't know, I guess, because we're just more relaxed. We can actually take the time to talk about things, or, if I'm not feeling 100%, you can take on, I don't know, you can do the washing up or something like.
We work so much better together as a unit than we have ever before. Whereas before you'd go, oh, we'll just leave that till later, and we just pick up each other's slack. There's no slack, but we just help each other out more. I think. And life becomes harmonious. It's become a homogenized thing rather than two people that are married. We're a unit that need to relieve as much stress as we can from each other in order to make this pleasurable and work. Whereas if we're at each other all the time, or we're living our own separate lives and status, a bit of a power struggle that everyone has is like monetary. Oh, I earn more money, I bring more money. Well, I look after the kids more, and I do this and around the house. And, it goes from that argument to oh, you feeling sick? Oh, I'll just do that. Oh, you don't have to do that. It's my job. Well, I can't give a fuck. Do it tomorrow. I don't care. Like,
yeah, that explains it well.
Yeah. You get the beers. I got the beers last time.
You get the beers. I can't reach into the fridge.
Of all of the places that you've been, is there one that stood out to you? And I don't want to know about the most beautiful one. I want to know about the place that made you feel something while you were there.
I'm going to say Dimboola.
Yeah, why?
Oh,
yeah. Not getting off light easy on this one.
Do you feel the same? Is Dimboola?
Oh, yeah, no, I'll talk. I've been talking and talking. You tell me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, so definitely Dimboola. So it was just a little country town, but every single person that we met was just lovely. Like everyone was so welcoming and helpful, and it just felt like you were just not just a tourist passing through. You just felt like you were.
That's the best way to describe it.
It just felt like you were a part of the community. Everyone just made you feel welcome and was like, oh, come over here. Like we walked into, what was it, the yacht club or the rowing club? Sailing club? Sailing club.
Yeah.
Or was it the rowing club?
I think it's a rowing club.
It's a rowing club.
Yeah.
We walked into the rowing club, and there was like 2 round tables of people. And
like massive
round tables. And we walked in and we're like, oh, I feel like maybe we shouldn't be here. Like it seems like just like just like their own little club. But anyway, we went up to the bar and got drinks, and then they're like, come and sit over here. And
We've got 2 seats here for you.
Yeah, pulled out 2 seats, and they were, come here. Like, and yeah, it was just lovely.
And not only that, they picked on us the moment we sat down.
Yes, you're right.
And then I gave it back to them, and they laughed, and it was like, oh shit, we're part of a community here. And everybody was there for the community. Whereas the bigger cities and stuff, everyone's running their own blinker street race, and here they're like, welcome, this is this person. If you need this, you need to speak to this person. There was a gentleman there, Ross Johns, and I forget his title, but he was the Minister for Agricultural something. He's not just a small name, he's a massive name, but he didn't start off with "that's who I am." That's not what he was about. It was like, "Welcome to Dimbilla. This is where you should go see. Go and see this point. This is what's good about this part." Oh, and then at the end of it, he's like, "Here's the keys to my Bentley. Go take it for a spin." And we're like, "Wow, how good. That's lovely that he's let us drive his Bentley."
Yeah, he didn't notice for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. I'm like, "Ross, I've had 5 drinks." You go, no, I'm joking. That was the next day. But it was funny. He's like, we were like, "Oh, how this is lovely." And then everybody we saw was like, "Oh, did Ross let you drive the Bentley?" Everyone's driven that. So it was not like we were special. It was like, this is everyone in the town he treats the same way. And the next day, he's literally had tourists in the Bentley, drove up to where we were looking at his tractor museum. He's like, "Oh, Dad, you did show up. Here you go." And I said, "Oh," he goes, "just do me a favour. Promote the town. That's all I want from you in return, is if you do anything, you make sure you tell everyone how good Dimboola is." And I'm like, "Mate, I'm already doing that. I'm already going to do that." Yeah. The caravan park was spectacular. The people there were from out of town that worked there, but just worked there once, and they ended up working there for 6 years. They saw our episodes. They knew us, and then they were like, "Hey, what can we do to help you out? Go and see this place." And we could move there, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
It goes to show what happens when a country town pitch together and look after each other, and it really had that sense. It wasn't every man for himself, or who has the most amount of money and who has prestige, and that, I think that's really back to basics of humanity.
Yeah, I agree.
It's burnt in my memory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I have this thing called geographical amnesia. We move around so quickly, I forget where we were and what we did. But that I remember Dimboola. So if you go to Dimboola, people go to Dimboola listening to this, treat it with respect and look after the locals. They'll look after you. And we have a saying that we take nothing but photos and leave nothing but footprints. And that's the idea. Wherever you go, just respect people's homes. You're just a guest there. But yeah, we could definitely, if they said, "Hey, you want to work at the caravan park," we'd still be there, I reckon.
Absolutely.
We had a similar experience in Merriwa in Tasmania on the west coast. It was the same sort of thing. By the time we left, the next day it was just a one-night stopover, and we went into the pub and we were friends with all of the farmers. It was Cape Grim beef country. They were all just so down to earth. We had the best time. They tried to convince us to buy the pub. I really wanted Scott to, but again, he said no.
You should have bought the pub. Why didn't you buy the pub?
I still think about it.
Can you sell your place and move there?
It was just beautiful, and the people were great, and I loved everything about it. The beach was beautiful. It's right on the coast, but it was that community that made that special. And I think as an adult, I know it's a catchphrase, but it's not often you get invited to sit at somebody else's table. I think that's a really special thing when people invite you into a group that they've already cultivated and say, "Here, please come learn about us. We want to learn about you and be part of what we have here." They're the best communities in the world.
You feel accepted and safe amongst peers. So you feel that you can be honest and and you're not just putting up a screen of, "I hope this person likes what I'm putting forward." You can sit back and relax and go, "Well, I actually feel part of this community." And there's many that have made us feel like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, there's many. But that's just our favourite place. And you should have bought that pub. Shame on you.
Knowing what you guys know now, what would you be grieving in this moment if you had stayed and not made this choice?
I think it will be very hard to go back to the way we lived. So in answering that, I think
the freedom, maybe.
It does feel like you're trapped in your own house, and your house is like not a prison, but it feels like you're working just to have it, only to be in it while you sleep, eat, shower, and on the weekend you don't want to be there. You want to get out and do things because you have so little time. So I think I'd be missing time and life because it feels like work takes so much away from us.
It really
I'm not
does.
anti-work.
It
I
really-
can work and do anything, but it's just that's what we would miss is the fact that, and if we never went, we'd be sitting there going, what if? And every bad thing that would happen, I'd be going, this wouldn't happen if we didn't go, and we should have went. You know, we wouldn't know the lifestyle that we would have had,
No, we wouldn't.
but we still would have blamed ourselves for not doing it, which we've wanted to do earlier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I hope that answers that question.
It does. I think often we paint ourselves with the brush of, oh, you know, like I work to live. But I think that crossover between working to live and living to work is such a fine line. And we live in this space where we cross over between those parallels so often. And
It sort of goes back to the living within your means and instant gratification for anything. I'm hungry, I'll go get Macca's. And I think that society's become that. We need to be consumers. God, I do sound like this person, don't I? We need to be
I love
consumers
this.
to be able to be happy. When it's not, you don't need to buy things to be happy. I thought I did for a long time. You just need to get rid of everything and just watch that sunset. Look into your wife's eyes as the sun's setting and she's a little bit tipsy from 3 beers and you're a little bit tipsy from 3 beers and go, how good is this? This people that are millionaires don't have this and I have it. I think that's what life's all about now.
I don't think...
And they're beautiful eyes too. For semi-close.
They are definitely beautiful eyes. Guys do make me sick. You are clearly very in love with each other. I suppose it's about redefining wealth, isn't it?
It goes back to, you know, Hannah is that, you know, those memories were worth millions to her. And that's what we're doing. We're storing up. We're banking
memories.
Banking those
instead of money.
memories.
Yeah. There's no PlayStation that I've bought any of my kids that made them as happy as catching, you know, a massive flathead.
Oh, man. Can you give me some tips? Can you get them to give me some tips? Because I have not caught a flathead the whole bloody trip and it's killing me.
I'll send you photos of the kids' flatheads, Dan. You're going to be furious. Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to be chatting to you. Let's just give our listeners a way that they can find you guys because, I mean, the majority of the world's into van life videos. So what's the best places for our listeners to be able to connect with you?
So YouTube, we post a weekly video. So we are just Quittin and Trippin on YouTube. And we're also on all socials. So we have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Quittin and Trippin on that as well. So we post different things on TikTok like caravan park reviews or beach things, just little quick things.
I cook. I do cooking. We have dogs, which is great.
Yeah.
And if you do follow us anywhere and you want to ask a question, we'll answer it back. We'll talk to you because we're just sitting around in a caravan all day doing nothing. So we've got plenty of time.
So I've got a question. Why were you walking funny when you come out of the massage parlour?
The sciatic was worked on a lot. That was still sore, but it come good.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, good. I'll see if the people want to go over and have a look at your TikToks and see if they agree with that. That was hilarious. You guys are funny. You are seriously funny.
We don't take anything serious at Quittin and Trippin. I don't have children, so the followers can be my children while I hand out the dad jokes.
You don't have to moderate yourself because there's no small people saying, oh, that's embarrassing.
Oh, there's me. No.
Elyse is the cringe meter, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh, you're lovely though. You do a fake laugh most of the time. Sometimes you can hear a real one.
Oh lot of the times you can hear a real one, but sometimes I do a little fake laugh.
I can feel you, Elyse. I've got a dad joker here too. Well, thanks for chatting with us, team.
Team Rogers.
I hope our listeners will head over and have a look at your travels and maybe use you as a great resource of some of the places they might be able to visit themselves. I know we certainly do, and it gives us lots of ideas about where we're going to go next. I did say to Scott last week, where are we going to go in September, which is usually a 3-week trip. And he's like,
Dimboola.
Well, he said, I think we're going to South Australia. So I don't know how much you guys have influenced that.
So you're saying that the South Australian tourism board owe us some money? Is that what you're saying?
I'd support it if they offered it.
I'm going to tag them in this.
Okay, great. Glad to be of assistance. If I do email them, I will let them know that you sent us.
Excellent. Fantastic.
Okay, guys, thank you for dropping in and chatting with us. And we look forward to seeing where you're headed next.
Thank you so much for your time too. We really appreciate, asking about our lives and, enjoying the content we're making.
Yeah, thank you. It was a really good chat.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode. If These Trees Could Talk and What Would They Say are productions of Bellevue Studio. Our host is Shannon Walters, executive and audio production by Megan Anderson, with socials and marketing managed by Mia Oberdorf. We always appreciate hearing your thoughts, so if you would like to support the show, you can rate, review and subscribe. To stay up to date between episodes, you can also find us on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. For more information on this episode or to connect with our guests, you'll find everything you need to know in the show notes at ifthesetreescouldtalk.com.au. We're grateful to have you with us and we look forward to sharing what comes next. Thanks for being here.